השיר ליום השבת מזמור השיר ליום השבת שימחני אדוני בפועלך במעשה ידיך ארנן הגדלו מעשיך אדוני מאוד עמדו מחשבותיך מזמור שיר ליום השבת מזמור שיר ליום השבת Nay na 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 nay 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 na nay nay na 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 nay nay. Nay na 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 nay 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 na nay nay na 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 nay nay. Nay na 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 nay 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 na nay nay na 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 nay nay. Nay na 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 nay 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 na nay nay na 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 nay nay. Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yetzir nivra yetzir nivra le'ed asa b'chefzo kol azay melech shmo nikra azay melech shmo nikra ואחרי כיכרות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא עובד והוא יהיה בתפארה והוא אחד ואין שני לעם שלו לאחמירה בלי ראשית בלי תחתית ולא ההוד והמזרח אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא יציר נברא לעת עשה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא אזי מלך שמו נקרא והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצור חרי ועת שרה והוא ניסי ומנוסי בנת כוסי ביום אקרא בידו עתיד רוחי בעת ישן ועירה ועם רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא אירא אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא יציר נברא לעת נשא בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא אזי מלך שמו נקרא די נה 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 ני 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 נה די י נה 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 ני ני י נה 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 ני 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 נה די י נה 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 ני ני י נה 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 ני 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 נה די י נה 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 ני ני י נה 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 ני 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 נה די י נה 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 ני ני 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 י נה נה 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 나 O Master of the world, the one supreme afar, guide us on our journey and let us hear your call. Grant us the strength and hope to carry on. Keep us free and safe. Give shelter to our souls. God will always be with me. I shall not fear at all. Adon olam, asher emalach, b'terem kol yetzir nivra, yetzir nivra, le'et nasa, b'chefzot kol, azai melech shmo nikra. Yai dai dai, yai lai dai dai, yai da da dai dai, ya da dai, yai dai, ya da 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 dai dai, ai di di dai dai, ya da dai, yai dai, ya da 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 lai dai, yai di di dai dai, ya da dai. Yai dai ya da da dai 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 da da dai dai ya da dai. Yai lai dai dai, yai lai lai dai, yai la da lai dai ya da dai. Yai lai lai, ya la la da lai lai. Yai di di dai dai ya da dai. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Let's try one more time. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom to all of you who are here in the sanctuary. We have a good crowd today, and also Shabbat Shalom to all of you who are watching us online, at your homes or other places. So Shabbat Shalom lekulam to all of you. As you can see, I am on my own today. So Rabbi Litvak is enjoying this vacation with family. And so I am leading services tonight. And I just want to start by sharing great news. I want to share some great news that happened to me actually today. After a few years of preparation, literally this morning I got an email from what is called the ACC, the American Conference of Cantors. It's the association that gathers all the Reformed cantors in the United States and in Canada. And I received today an email saying that after some exams that I have taken, I have become an associate member of the association. Thank you. I have to admit the journey was an interesting journey with a lot of ups and downs, as you can imagine. The pandemic in between, made impossible to do these exams in the past 2 years, but it was all worth it. So tonight, I really wanted to celebrate this milestone with music, to celebrate music. And at the same time, I wanted to do something special. So some of you may know that every other Thursday, we tape a specific program that Rabbi David, our youth, the head of our youth education, he coordinates. And usually this is taped with Rabbi Litvak, as he was away. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to tape with him this program, in which we talked about Jewish music from Ukraine, and also by doing that we talked about the
how the musical tradition from the area influenced the music that we sing today, how that old tradition was carried throughout generations, and we still sing or are influenced by this musical tradition. Especially, we are talking about the music from the Hasidic movement that was created or was born in the UK, in Ukraine, and is basically the birth of all the nigunim, the music without words, like the one I just did at the beginning of the service. So today, I decided to shape tonight's service in a different way. Most of the music that you will hear tonight will be, coming from or has been inspired by the music from the Hasidic movement from Ukraine. And so I hope you like the music. Some of the tunes you may know, you will not know. There will be a lot of nigunim, but I hope you will like it. So we are going to start the service. First of all, with the words of Yedid Nefesh, one of the Zemirot, one of the songs that we do for Shabbat. Yedid Nefesh, lover of my soul, merciful God, bring your servant close to your will. It says, your servant will run like a gazelle to prostrate before your glory, for your companionship is purer than any fine taste or flavor. So, Yedid Nefesh, and this can be found on page 128 on your Sidurim.
Yedid Nefesh, Avarachaman, Meshohamdach, El Retzonah, Yarut Amalach, Kemo Haya, Ishtachaveh, El Bul Hadarach, Yeravelo, Yedidutah, Binofet Zur, Kemotah, Yedid Nefesh, Avarachaman, Meshohamdach, Eretzonah, Yarut Amalach, Kemo Hayal, Ishtachaveh, El Bul Hadarach, Yeravalo, Yedidutah, Binofet Zur, Kechol Tahar.
So we commence our service formally on page 130. Sorry, actually, I need to do something here because that was not right. Sorry, I still need to do my mixing here, the video, and now it's correct. So, page 130, we are sing together. Lechu neradena, come, let us sing to Adonai. Let us acclaim the rock of our deliverance. Lechu neradena.
Lechunerandena, lechunerandena, lechunerandena la Adonai. Lechunerandena, lechunerandena, lechunerandena la Adonai. Naria, naria, letzuri sheinu, nekalma fana betoda. Naria, naria, letzuri sheinu, bizmirot naria lo. Lechunerandena,
נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. Page 131. ישמחו השמיים at the bottom. ישמחו השמיים. ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ. ישמחו השמיים. ישמחו השמיים. ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ. הירם הים, הירם הים, הירם הים ומלואו. הירם הים, הירם הים, הירם הים ומלואו. יעלו שדה בכל אשר פה, אז ירננו כל הצייר. לפני אדוני קיווה קיווה לשפוט הארץ. ישפוט תבל וצדק ועמים באמונתו. And we turn to page 138 with a new melody that I'm going to introduce today, a Hasidic melody, of course, for this beautiful poem by Shlomo Alkabetz. Lecha Dodi, page 138.
Shabbat, de Shabbat nekabela, yain larai lechadodi, yain larai likrat kala, yain larai bnei Shabbat, de Shabbat nekabela, שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, ישמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, ושמו לתפארת ולתהילה. יין לרי לך דודי, יין לרי לקראת כלה, יין לרי פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. יין לרי לך דודי, יין לרי לקראת כלה, יין לרי פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה ומחשבה תחילה. רי לרי לך דודי, יין לרי לקראת כלה, יין לרי פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. יין לרי לך דודי, יין לרי לקראת כלה, יין לרי פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. You say, יין לרי לך דודי, יין לרי לקראת כלה, יין לרי פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. יין לרי לך דודי, יין לרי לקראת כלה, יין לרי פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. We rise, we face to the door to welcome the Shabbat bride. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה,
גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני העם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. יין לרי לך דודי, יין לרי לקראת כלה, יין לרי פני שבת, בשבת נקבלה. יין לרי לך דודי, יין לרי לקראת כלה, יין לרי פני שבת, בשבת נקבלה. You may sit down, and the next tune comes from also one of the most prolific composers, I would say contemporary. He passed away only a few years ago, Shlomo Carlebach, Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach, who was instrumental in the movement of the Baal Teshuvah, in which through music he had an approach to prayer that impacted in more participation from the people. And you can see this is a beautiful tune written by him. Tov Lehodot. This can be found on page 140. Yai rai 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 rai, yai rai 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 rai, yai rai rai rai, yai rai 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 rai, yai rai 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 rai, yai rai 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 rai, yai rai rai rai, yai rai 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 rai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai, tov lehodot l'Adonai, ולזמר שמך עליון. טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר שמך עליון. להנגיד בבוקר, בבוקר חסדך, אמונתך בלילות. להגיד בבוקר, בבוקר חסדך, אמונתך בלילות. Let's try together. טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר שמך עליון. טוב להודות לאדוני, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר שמך עליון. להנגיד בבוקר, בבוקר חסדך, אמונתך בלילות. להנגיד בבוקר, בבוקר חסדך, אמונתך בלילות. וילללי, יאי לי 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 די די די, יאי לי די 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 די, יאי לי די 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 די, יאי די 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 די, יאי לי די 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 די, יאי לי די 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 די. And the last psalm of the Kabbalat Shabbat, Psalm 93, concludes with the words Mikolot Ma'im Ravim Adirim Mishperei Am Adir Mamarom Adonai, above the thunder of the mighty waters, more majestic than the breaker of the sea, is Adonai, majestic on high. This is at the bottom, I think it's in the middle of page 141. Mikolot Ma'im Rabim Adirim Mishperei Am try together. Mikolot Maim Rabim Adirim Mishpereya Andirim Mishpereya Hadir Bamarum Adonai. Let's one more time. Yai lai rai 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 yaradai. Yai rai 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 yaradai. Yai rai rai. Yai rai rai rai. Yai rai 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 rai. Edotecha nemenu me'ayod. לביתך נא בקודש, אדוני, לאורך ימים. So, we conclude the Kabbalat Shabbat. This was like the warm-up moment to enter Shabbat. And how we are going to mark the beginning of Shabbat by lighting the Shabbat candles. So I would like to invite Sandy Goodman to light the candles. Do you know what to do?
Well, I know. Well, hopefully I know how to. Are you going to tell me that? Is that going to stay lit? Yeah. Is the wick long enough?
No,
Am I missing? What? Yep, you certainly may. Thank you. Now pray. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you, Sandy. We continue with Barhu on page 146, and I will invite the congregations to rise. Please rise. 146. Ya la la, ya la la la, ya la. read on page 148 together. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light awake from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name, ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai Amari Varabi. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthen our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people, Israel. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Israel. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Ba'ed. You may be seated. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך, בכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להורות על ידיך, ויהיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים אלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם באמת. On page 157, standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Mi Chamocha can be found on page 158. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai, ya da da da, ya da da da, yai lai lai yai lai, yai lai lai lai, ya da da da, yai lai lai da 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 da, yai lai la lai la lai la da da da, yai lai la lai da 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 da, yai la lai lai ya da 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 da. We say Mi Chamocha. Mi Chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar v'kodesh, Torah tehilloto osef eleh, Torah tehilloto osef eleh. Malchutecha ra'u banecha, כהים לפני משה ומרים, זה לי ענו ואמרו, זה לי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יאי לה לה לה, יאי לה 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 לה, יאי לה 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 לה, יאי לה 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 לה, יאי לה 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 לה. ונאמר כי פנה את יעקב אל המחזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Next page, beautiful prayer in which we ask God for protection to give us the opportunity to go to bed in peace and raise us up to life renewed. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו ולשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו your name, shield us from hatred, sorrow and pain. Hashkiveinu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamiteinu shomreinu. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat in every generation as a covenant for all times. It is a sign forever between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days the eternal God made heaven and earth. And on the seventh day God ceased from labor and rested. Veshambru b'nei Israel. The last prayer before the Amidah on page 162. השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני שמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי וביום השביעי וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש לי 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 So we are going to rise for the Amidah on page 164. We are going to start with I'm going to lead at the beginning with the words Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. We ask Adonai to open up our lips so that our mouth can declare God's praise. And then I will invite you all to continue silently. We have a beautiful prayers and poetry on the Siddur, and you can meditate with by just reading the words that you have there from 166 until 180, or also you can meditate with the words that your heart may prompt. So 164, beginning of the Amidah. Yananai nai 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 Adonai. Yananai nai 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 Sfatai tiftach. Yananai nai 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 Ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Yananai nai 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 Adonai. Yananai nai 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 Sfatai tiftach. Yananai nai 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 Ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. We continue silently. You may be seated. At this point in our service, we think about those in our community, in our midst, who are in need of a prayer of healing. And so, if you want to follow along the prayer, this can be found on page 371. Mishe Berach. who blessed the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. And on this Shabbat, we especially think of Osvaldo Berassa, Rick Center, Elliot Citron, Howard Citron, Eta Rachel Batmalka Cecil, Susan Friedman, David Eisenberg, Ed Jones, Mindy Elizabeth Jones, Susan Jones, Leah Toba Barr, Jack Lieb, Kobe Maidenberg, Shammai Ben Michael, Stephen Mishan, Leslie Paiken, El Karak, Jackie Robinson, Shaul Ben Moshe Verivka, Mac Rockfeld, Carol Sheckman, Suzette Schultz, Susan Dvora Schwartz, Mark Byron Singer, Aryeh Tzvi Ben Sora, Kevin Webb, and Jonathan Ben Feivel. For all of them, we wish all of them Refuah Shlema. Mi shebeira imodenu mekor habracha eavoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. So, and we conclude the Amidah with words of peace, very well needed at this time in our world. On page 180, words that we say: may the one who makes peace in the high heavens make peace for us, for all Israel, and for all who inhabit the earth. And we say, Amen. Oseh Shalom Ibramav, at the bottom of page 180. Oseh Shalom Bimbroma, Uya Aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Israel Ve'imeru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimbroma, Uya Aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Israel Ve'imeru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimbroma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Israel Ve'imeru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimbroma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Israel Ve'imeru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimbroma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Israel Ve'imeru Amen. So, as I said in the beginning, I wanted to do something special today, something that is all about music, to celebrate at least this important milestone in my career. So, I want to talk very briefly about what we just did today and why we were doing that. Because, as I said at the beginning of the service, the idea of today's service was to emphasize the music from Ukraine, and again, I was inspired by yesterday's program that we did with Rabbi David. So the history of the Jewish people in Ukraine really goes back many centuries ago. Probably, according to the research, there has been Jews there probably from the 9th century. But what really want to focus is on the history of the music tradition from Ukraine. And I would say what is distinctive about the music from Ukraine, I would say there are three major aspects that music from Ukraine and probably from Russia has given us. One is, of course, what we said at the beginning, that there were, one is the music from the Hasidim, the Hasidic movement. Another aspect is which is probably similar to this, but it's not the same, it's the klezmer music. All the klezmer music, instrumental music, so much joy and sometimes so much sadness, but again, all the emotions through instrumentation is distinctive in the klezmer music. And also, we have major composers that came from Ukraine for synagogal music. So synagogal music also has been a major component of the musical tradition of Ukraine. And especially as I spoke yesterday in Odessa, Odessa was a great place where great cantors like Yosele Rosenblatt or Gershon Sirota were born or worked there, and Moshe Hershman and composers like Dunachevsky. This has been the birth of many great musicians. It also has been the epicenter of the Yiddish theater until probably the beginning of the 20th century. That, of course, was and it lasted until the revolution in 1917. So there is a huge history of music from Ukraine. So, of course, what we did today is we were talking about the first aspect, the Hasidic movement. The Hasidic movement was born in the 1700s by the Baal Shem Tov, the master of the good name, as literally the translation from Hebrew. So the Baal Shem Tov really wanted to have a different approach to Judaism, influenced by the mysticism, and was more in contrary of other branches of Judaism that were more focused on formal and scholarly approach to Jewish practice. So the Baal Shem Tov felt that there was a need for a more joyful approach, less formal, and definitely the music was a vehicle. It says that, there is a say that says the prayer is the music of the heart, is the pen from the heart, and okay, I need to find out. And music is a pen of the soul. Like you really, through music, you can touch your inner strings. So based on that idea, the Hasidic movement started, and all these nigunim, wordless music, was a vehicle for people to connect and to meditate and to create a communal sound. So I want to start just to share two nigunim today that actually were notated from an audio recording that came from Ukraine. So the Institute Renanot from Israel in the 20th century tried to record and to notate everything that was orally transmitted until then, so that all the tradition from different parts of the world could have a place, an archive, so whoever wants to go back and see how was the tradition from Ukraine, or how was the tradition from Salonika or from Portugal, this institute really collected all and notated. So these nigunim were notated in the early 20th century. And so this is the first one. Again, all of them attributed apparently to the Baal Shem Tov, and also to one of them to Nachman from Breslav, the Rabbi Nachman of Breslav. So this is the first nigun, Juvenal. We are going to do probably only the first 3 lines. We are going to go around the first 3 lines. It goes like this. Yai rai 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 ya ra rai da da tai. Yai rai 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 ya da rai rai rai. Yai rai 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 yai rai rai da da tai. Yai rai 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 rai. Yai ra rai da rai rai rai. Ya ba ba yai da rai rai. Yai da dai da dai dai dai. Ya da dai 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 dai. Yai da dai dai dai. Ya ba ba yai da ra dai. Yai da dai dai dai. Ya da dai 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 dai. Yai dai dai dai. Yai dai dai da da dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Ya da dai dai dai. Yai dai dai dai. Yai dai dai da da dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai da dai da dai dai dai. Ya da dai yai da da dai. Yai da dai da dai dai dai. Ya da dai 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 dai. Yai da dai da dai dai dai. Ya ba ba yai da da dai. Yai da dai da dai dai dai. Ya da dai 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 dai. So this is the first nigun. And again, I didn't sing all of this because it continues. And what was distinct about nigunim from the early times were that nigunim were more sophisticated at the time, were more complex, there were more parts in it. So not just only A and B part, but in this case, for example, I see here 4 parts. And so, you had to be trained to do that. And usually nigunims are repeated over and over and over again in circles, and you can have this nigun sung for maybe 8 to 12 minutes, and by that time, you get it. So this is one of them I just wanted to show you, and this was in minor mode, kind of combines some sort of nostalgia, melancholy, but there are not all of them in minor as we think they are. The next one I'm going to show you in a moment actually is in major. It has a different feeling. I just wanted to say that the last thing is that all of these nigunim, we still do that here. It's not just something from the past. Something that's important to emphasize, that the music that came originally from Ukraine is very much alive. Not only these early nigunims, but the influence of how we approach music through nigunim or Hasidic tunes is very much present in Jewish worship. Probably mostly in, or originally mostly in Orthodox synagogues and conservative, but I would say in the past 40 to 50 years, Reformed congregations have embraced nigunim and Hasidic traditions as well. At first it was rejected because, just for you to know, Reformed Judaism came originally from Germany. And Germany, of course, has nothing to do with nigunim and yai ba bai boy boy boy. No, even when most of you know that there was a cantor at a congregation in London and in Amsterdam that were founded by German refugees, and they called these tunes a happy clappy song, kind of. So they say, we don't do happy clappy songs. They want to do the German Nusach. So that's how they call it. I'm telling you, I'm not lying. This was, and I can remember there was like a first lesson I had to hear from my board and especially from the musical director that said, we don't do happy clappy. So I learned that we don't mix milk and meat. So, but thank God, definitely here in America, the Reform movement has started to embrace modern approach to music, and definitely with a movement from David Friedman and so on, but then all this movement from Hasidic tunes has been present in Reformed congregations. So I want to finish my little teaching with another tune. Again, this attributed to, where is my tune here? Let me see. Where is it? If I find it now, it's all gone. Where is it? I have so many papers today. Here it is. Again, this one was attributed to Rabbi Nachman of Breslau, and this was notated in 1927 in Jerusalem after hearing someone, this called, I think it's Joseph Sternberg. He carried the tradition from Ukraine and he recorded that, and they notated. This is an early Hasidic nigun, in this case in major. Again, we're doing the first three lines. Goes like this. Boy, 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 boy. Dai, dai, yada, dai, dai. Dai, 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 boy, boy. Boy, boy, yabba, boy, boy. Yai, ba, boy, 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 boy. Dai, 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 da, 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 da. Yai, da, dai, 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 dai. Da, dai, 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 dai. Yay, boy, 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 boy. Yay, boy, baba, boy, boy. Yay, dai, 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 dai. Dai, dai, yada, dai, dai. Yay, da, dai, 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 dai. Ya, dai, dai, da, 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 dai. Yay, da, dai, 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 dai. Dai, 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 dai. So, with that, we're going to continue the service on page 586 with Aleinu. I would like the congregation to please rise. לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כאם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Our thoughts turn to those who have died over the past 30 days in our community. We observe the period of Shloshim for Jacobo Piegnagura and Michelle Ostrix. Also, we turn to those who have observing the yahrzeit on this Shabbat. They are Philip Allman, Joseph Baumol, Arnold Byrne, Chuck Brenner, Jerome Burkans, Lori Elkman Collins, Chuck Goldberg, Esther C. Harris, Bernice Israelson, Ruth J. Jolson, Nurit Kalimi, Anna Kastenbaum, Stanley Corman, Henry Mitrani, Catherine E. Murphy, Jacob Rubenstein, Marsha Saferstein, Lawrence Simon, John Swiler, and especially we commemorate the yahrzeit of Karol Sigal-Kromsky, for whom we have a special dedication of a permanent memorial plaque here in our sanctuary. And we also remember those who are remembered on our memorial walls. For all of them, we stand up and recite Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish. Itkadal ve'itkadash shemeh rabah, be'alma divra chiruteh ve'yamlich malchuteh, ve'chayechon ve'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv ve'imberu, Amen. Yeheh shemeh rabah mevarach leolam uleolmei almaya, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרמם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יש למה רבה מן שמיה בחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום מברומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. May the one who is a source of consolation grant you and your families consolation together with all mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. You may be seated. Actually, yeah. I want to wish you all Shabbat Shalom. Once again, today I'm leading services on my own because Rabbi Lidwak is enjoying his vacation. He will be with us next week. It has been noted that next week we have a special service. We don't know exactly where it will be because we are starting on Monday a renovation here in our bima, on our bima. We are going to conceal all these wires that you see here, some of you see here, that are the survivors of our changing of technology for streaming. So now that we are in the 21st century, we are going to eventually to put everything down the ground and allow every lectern to have its own connectors for videos and audio and internet and everything. So all of this will happen this next week, so we don't know exactly how the synagogue will look like on Friday. Most likely it will be either in the sisterhood patio or in the social hall. We will let you know this week on the Sinai scene and definitely on Shabbat and beyond. I want to say thank you to the sponsors for this Shabbat, Ronnie and Michael Zindorf in honor of their anniversary, Sandy and Don Goodman in memory of Don's stepfather, Philip Allman, Dr. Merritt and Ellen Halen in memory of Marsha Saferstein, Jane Hiller and Nancy Simon in memory of Lawrence Simon, Stuart Israelson in memory of Bernice Israelson, and Elise and Rodney Udelson in memory of Jerome Perkins. So we have some announcements to make. You have here in the sanctuary, where is it? You have this. You have that? Have you received this? Hopefully. And everyone here online, you see that on the screen. I put this flyer. We have in 2 weeks, we have our starting the weekend. Really, this is going to be like a weekend festival, our Cantor Schulke's annual Spring Music Festival with Joni Leeds. Joni Leeds is a rewarded musician. She just won last year a Grammy for her album All the Ladies that talks about women empowerment inspired by the Me Too movement. And she is going to come to us for the whole weekend, starting on Friday, leading services with me, on Friday, April 10th. And the next day, on Saturday night, she will have a sit-down coffee house style of concert where we will be close to the artist. So she will talk about her song, how she created the song, some stories. It's a great opportunity just to meet the artist very closely. And this will be preceded by a cocktail party for patrons. If you want to become a patron and support, as we always do, Temple Sinai, this is an opportunity to be part of this. All the information is on the link that you see here, tsnd.org/smf22. And again, you will have the opportunity to become a patron or to buy tickets for that. And whoever here has maybe grandchildren who want to bring, on Sunday we will have a wonderful family concert at 4 p.m. She is known for not only just adult music, but also children's music. She's actually a music teacher at the preschool, and she is going to lead a wonderful concert on the Israelson Pavilion. And on the field, you can bring your own blanket, and you can enjoy great music. And after that, there will be activities for children and food just for purchase. So it's all here and all here. Please stay tuned for more information that we will bring sharing throughout the next 2 weeks. So then we have the next slide is about supporting the Jews in Ukraine. Again, you have the information here that we tend to direct you to the the Greater Miami Jewish Federation to make those donations. You have here the links. And Camp Sinai is registration is still open, so we welcome campers. So you have also here information if you want to register your child. Let me see. I think that's all. Yes. Before I conclude, one more thing to say is I want to. There is someone here in the room that has a special day. Am I right, Uwe? Is someone celebrating a birthday today? Is it? So can we sing for you? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Juvenal. Happy birthday to you. I put it on camera now. And now we say, Yom Uledet Sameach, Yom Uledet Sameach, Yom Uledet Sameach, Yom Uledet Sameach. So, okay, we are going to conclude with something special. A friend and a colleague of mine, Cantor Ramon Tassat, he's a wonderful scholar. He adapted, I'm not sure if he also arranged, because this is a choral arrangement, or he adapted, yes, yes, it says he did arrangement that Juvenal is going to play. It usually is for a choir. He adapted the melody for the Ukrainian anthem to Adon Olam. So I'm going to sing that for you. I think that's very appropriate to finish this with a nice touch and modern, I would say. Well, not modern, but it's from Ukrainian tradition. So the words of Adon Olam can be found on page 625, and we are going to start on the fourth stanza, on the fourth verse. Ve'u Eli v'chai goali. Okay? The words will be, of course, for the people online. I'm putting it now, and you can see that let's try. Let's finish with another nigun. Sorry. Yeah, here. No, here. For Kiddush and Amotzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu b'shabbat kodesho b'ahava u'b'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר יציאת מצרים הבנו בחרת אותנו קידשת מכל שמחה באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. חי. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המוציא לחם מן הארץ. שבת שלום.